Alright people, it is time to do a little review, take a little look at this month's trade that GhostCritic picked out for those of us who want to do a review of it. And that's Rat Queens Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery. This is one of those $9.99 trades from Image. There we go. And it's one I passed up when I saw it on the shelves originally. I glanced through it and wasn't that terribly interested in the first issue. And then eventually, due to good word of mouth, I put it on my pull list, and the first issue I got to read was the Braga one-shot special. This is actually the first of the Rat Queens series proper that I got to read, and I very much enjoyed it. Though I have to say, I'm glad I didn't pick up the first issue, because I didn't like the first issue very much. Some nice little Rat Queens draw, and I really like these. Must have been covers with each individual character. They got a lot of flavor to them, and you know, there's your fighter who's all beaten up and bloody, or is she the magic user who broke her arm? Either way, she's all broken up. They must have been alternate covers, because there's another cover of the 4 Rat Queens. And I found the first issue a little confusing. This is the weirdest part. This had me flipping back to see if I missed a page in the first issue, because the whole basic theme is they live in this, you know, fantasy medieval town, and the Rat Queens are an adventuring gang, and all the various adventuring gangs in the town have been causing too much trouble lately, and the local business owners and populace want to crack down on the adventuring gangs. So, you know, our introduction to the Rat Queen is them in a brawl in the middle of the city. And then in the next page, they're talking to him in a dungeon. And I was just like, what? The city? Dungeon? Where's our transition? Because we went from, there's the guy who's talking to him in the dungeon. He's the guy who's like, oh, go talk to all the adventurers. And I was just, I just confused the hell out of me as I flipped back. But there's our adventuring teams. Rat Queens, Peaches, 4 Daves, Brother Ponies, and Obsidian Darkness. Those are the, I guess they're all causing too much trouble in town. But, and also what drove me crazy in the first issue are these blurred out backgrounds. Oh my, they just drove me to distraction. Because it seems he's just gesturing in some backgrounds there. Oops, see we get. And then just Photoshop blurring them. And, oh, it just didn't work for me. Luckily, he seemed to, as the later issues, he was still doing some of it, but I think he just did it better, the artist on this one. And I found it less distracting. I think he just got better at it, so. What bothered me in the first issue stopped bothering me later on. So like I said, I'm glad I didn't just pick up the first issue and read it, because I might not have gone any further with these things that annoy me. But of course, at the end of the first issue, there be spoilers here. We find out it's all a trap. We don't know who set them up, but all of these adventure teams were set up to be killed by these black assassins, whoever they might be. And so that's how they ended the first issue, with the 4, you know, them killing the Obsidian, whoever they are. The Obsidian Darkness get killed in the, you know, what is this, 1, 2, 3 pages after they're introduced, they get killed, so don't expect any more of them. And then, matter of fact, the one-shot special about Braga is this woman in Peaches, and she's in the Peaches right there, so she's not even a Rat Queen proper, and she got her own one-shot special. But anyway, here we go. You know, then there's some nice. It's actually well done. We have the, you know, the characters, the, you know, kind of typical fantasy characters, and we get the Hobbit-like one, the magic user, the fighter, and I guess the fighter slash, you know, magic user leader thing. But there's lots of fun little bickering going on, and there's some good dialogue between them. The little hobbit elf creature brings candy for them to eat for lunch. Did you seriously pack candies and drugs for dinner? But like it's a fun book. Then it gets it's a fun and then gets so it veers between funny and violent. It's one of those books where, you know, this is where they're set up, and all of a sudden they have to fight their black assassin, and they go into things like, you know, I guess they got like video game moves where they're like, oh, let's do this move, let's do that move, and they argue with each other as they decide how to fight this thing. But of course they get, they get out of their little thing and they go on and try to figure in this little detective story. Like I said, it gets bloody. There's our little hobbit girl. And there's Braga joining the fray. It's Braga, right? I can't even remember. Like I said, there's actually the action scenes in it are very nice. They're kind of very manga-influenced action scenes with all their crazy speed lines, but their crazy speed lines are done in the color, so it's a little different than the black and white manga. There's some more crazy speed lines and shapes that they do well. We'll just flip through for you a bit here. Like I said, the artwork is I think I like the storytelling better than the drawing when it comes to the artist. He's a pretty good. The drawing, I'm not a huge fan of this coloring type. I could go into the. It looks like it's a little too. It's the kind of coloring that to me looks good on a computer screen, but when it's printed, comes out a little dark and muddy. But it's not terrible or anything. There's another one of those chapters with the character hanging out, looking all tough and battered. And I really enjoy these drawings. I think he did a nice job capturing the. Who did this? Rock Upchurch. I don't think he's doing the next story arc in Rat Queens. I think he got into a little domestic violence trouble, I remember reading. But there's another fun, this must be an alternate cover. Who doesn't like spiral bras? Such fun. Like I said, it's a nice pin-up drawing there. Some nice storytelling, character stuff going on there with her confronting. They're not very good detectives either. That's part of they kind of stumble onto who set them up. And as a matter of fact, I think this like I said, there's some great one-liners in it. And I think this woman had this character, whose name, that one right there, whose name I had, whose name I don't remember, had a wonderful line when, let's see if I can find it. It's right around here somewhere. Something about, wow, you figured out the mystery. And she's like, figured it out, I stumbled on it. Amazing. Uh-oh. All the trolls are after them. Oh, that's Braga in her full. How wasn't she green when we last saw her? How'd she turn white? See what happened? Looks like she's green there, and then somehow turns white later on in the. I don't know if they just decided to recolor her differently. I don't know what color she is in her one shot. I'm going to look at that up now. Oh, another wonderful group cover. Let's see if they have an individual cover here. Oh, that one's okay. Riley Rosmo. He doesn't quite capture the character as the other ones do. As the regular artist. Of course, it ends with a giant battle against trolls. So overall, I have to say, Rat Queens was a fun book. I'm glad I put it on my pull list now, and I'll have to pick up volume 2 of this when it comes out. Because it's just, and it was kind of different than I thought it would be, and there's a lot more humor in it. It's a little more violent than I thought it would be. If you don't like the first issue, keep going, because I think it gets better. I think the flaws of the first issue are kind of smoothed out later on. Look at that's a fine background there. I think, like I said, I think he just figured it out. He figured out how to do his backgrounds better, so they weren't driving me to distraction. But overall, there's another nice, must have been one of the covers. But overall, I can give Rat Queens a solid buy and say pick it up for only $9.99. You can give it a try yourself, and it's well worth it. So, you guys have a good one out there.